Hi there, I'm Connor, I'm Off the Cuff, and today I am talking to you about Eye in the Sky. Eye in the Sky stars Hellen Miren, the final screen performance of Allan Rickman, I think, Pheobe Fox, Aaron Paul, Barkhad Abdi, and it is directed by Gavin Hood. And this movie is about a British operation to capture a person on the most wanted terrorism list in, I believe it's Kenya. And things begin to be not as they seem, things get worse, and a bunch of moral, political, ethical, and legal questions begin to arise. What did I think of Eye in the Sky? I loved this movie, and I'm not going to talk too much about this because I think walking in with the least amount of knowledge is important. But I loved this movie. This movie is directed excellently. It is written excellently. This movie has so much working gears and so many little nuances that it's trying to get into that I think in any other hands of the writer and director, it could have been confusing and a bit of a disaster. But this movie knows how to speak to the layman in the audience, me, without making it feel like the experts on screen were dumbing it down to an audience that wasn't there, and it didn't feel like the screenwriter was using this as a platform to explain. It was surprisingly natural, and I'm so impressed with the performances and how they were able to, you know, talk to the audience about these things, about these very complex situations as well. We have like 4 or 5 different settings that this movie is taking place at the same time. And this movie is very smart because so much of this movie is waiting. And, you know, waiting with your fists clenched and you're sweating and just waiting till the next decision happens. And this movie always knows when to go to the place that something is happening. This movie never drags its feet. This movie never feels like it's sitting down and waiting for for the plot to happen. I was very impressed by that. I think the performances are excellent. Hellen Miren. I mean, I think it's kind of a consensus that she and Meryl Streep are kind of duking it out with Cate Blanchett as to who is the best actress living today. But Hellen Miren is great. Allan Rickman. This guy melted my heart, man. He is great in this movie. And, you know, I'm going to miss him. I'm really going to miss him. And I felt like this movie was a great movie to say goodbye to him on. Aaron Paul, I think, he's been in some, he was great in Breaking Bad. He's got a new television show starting. He was in 999, and he's been popping up in small roles in movies, and I don't think he's really been able to break through in the big screen yet, but this movie, I think, was his way in. He was great in this movie. Pheobe Fox, who was in The Woman in Black 2, which sucked. She at least was kind of a bright spot in that movie, and she, you know, she's in a very small role in this movie. She shines. Barkhad Abdi, who has been absent since Captain Phillips. He was in The Brothers Grimsby, and this is only his 3rd appearance. He's great in this movie as an operative. So many great performances, and it's awesome because all these performances are taking place in different settings, and they can only communicate through each other with phones and technology, and that, you know, not face-to-face. And they're working with technology to try to operate this big thing, and they really make this work. There's not a disconnect in the story and storytelling. That is so impressive. And this movie is not really concerned with the political ramifications of what is happening. I mean, the politics are still there because there are people who are in areas of military and politicians. So naturally, politics are going to arise. This movie is more interested in the ethical and legal questions, and I think that is more interesting than a political debate. And this movie is suspenseful. I was on the edge of my seat. This movie just knows how to build up suspense, release some, get you back down, and then continue ramping it up. This movie, Gavin Hood, I mean, if you don't judge this guy based on X-Men Origins Wolverine. He's the real deal. I can't wait to see what this guy does next. And on a last note, this movie was surprisingly funny. I would not be surprised if Gavin Hood was to come out and say that Dr. Strangelove was an inspiration, because the comedy is not unlike Dr. Strangelove. And some of these situations, while suspenseful, are kind of humorous at the way they're happening. Like, come on! And you're nervously laughing, and it knows how to tease its audience just the right way. It was joyous, Also suspenseful, also thought-provoking. This movie was amazing. Go watch Eye in the Sky. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Watch it. I will be surprised if this is not in my top 10 come the end of the year. It would have been in my top 10 of last year if this movie came out in 2015. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Connor. See you later.